Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. In today's lesson, guys, we have a sad story to talk about, or sad news to bring, and that is that George Perez has died. Now, George Perez apparently died yesterday, and it blows my mind. We knew that it was coming. He announced his cancer diagnosis from the doctors about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and he has died. I think it was 5 months ago. So he lasted about 5 months after the diagnosis, and which is very impressive because he said he wasn't going to do any chemotherapy. And George Perez is one of, if not the best artists in comic books, especially superhero comic books of all time. And he was the artist that brought us such classic storylines, such as Crisis on Infinite Earths and the Infinity Gauntlet. And yeah, just the battles that took place, the amount of characters that were drawn into these giant epic event storylines. Um, George Perez made a name for himself. There's a reason why when Marvel was to do their big event with Thanos using the Infinity Gauntlet, they called up George Perez, even though he didn't finish the entire six-issue mini-series. He did do, I believe, the first four issues, and he did do the beginning of the battle between Earth's mightiest Avengers, or Earth's mightiest heroes, against Thanos. Is almost unlimited, if not unlimited, power with the Infinity Gauntlet. And he also drew the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, the first ever Crisis event, first ever reboot in comics, basically, book-wise, reboot for an entire comic book universe. And George Perez was the man who drew the entire, I believe, 12-issue miniseries for DC. And it's the reason why I got contacted by Marvel. He did such a good job doing this giant event for DC. And the Anti-Monitor was such an amazing villain. He had such a great design. And he really sold the level of threat the Anti-Monitor was with the amount of power he portrayed on the pages for that villain. And it was just amazing. And George Perez's, accomplishments being he worked on Wonder Woman in the 1980s and stuff like that after the post-crisis began. He basically started working on different series. He also worked on the new Teen Titans with Marv Wolfman, I believe. And ironically, we were going to cover the first issue of that because I am going to be covering that entire series here on the channel. And it's sad that we got this news before I was able to drop the first video, as it was already in my to make videos. Basically, it was like in the next two videos I was going to make to post on the channel. So it's still going to be coming out. We're still going to be covering the entire series, but it's sad that this happened. His death happened before we were able to start diving into one of, if not his greatest work to some readers that are fans of his, giant fans of George Perez and his artwork and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I don't want to just keep going on and on, and because I haven't really read a lot of George Perez stuff, so I don't want to act like I've read a ton of his work, but he created possibly the two greatest storylines, event storylines, I guess I should say, not just regular storylines, but event storylines that really shaped the Marvel and the DC universe. And DC and Marvel's universes were never the same after these events. And George Perez was that type of artist that could really bring these comic book universe changing events to life. And we're going to miss him. George Perez, rest in peace. Be sure to check out the George Perez, Marv Wolfman, the new Teen Titans run. We're going to be covering it here on the channel, possibly in the next 3 to 4 days. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, as we are going to be starting that journey of going through some of, if not his greatest work in his fans' eyes. Some fans of George Perez consider that and Marv Wolfman's greatest creation working together. So we're going to be covering it here on the channel, and hopefully you guys enjoy that great run. But George Perez, rest in peace, and you'll always be in our hearts. Until the next video, guys, God bless you. Until the next lesson, keep on reading those comments.